in this bit. Welcome to the top of it. This is Inside the Huddle. I am your host and moderator, LAV, the better team, joined by he who remains my motherfucking kinfo. What's up, baby?
Hey, what's poppin', man? It was a wild, wild week last week, and I can't wait to talk about it, man. Let's get to this great show.
I'm with you, man. Hey, look, this show, as with all shows, brought to you the top of the sports book over on Instagram, man. Hey, man, you want to get your gambling needs, your plays, your parlays, want to get paid, tap in with them boys over there, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, tap in.
Shit, man. Go ahead.
I would say tap in with the boys. The top of it all the way. Goddamn me, salute.
I'm tired as hell. I was up all night doing the producing and shit, doing some shit so I can have some shit ready. So shit, man, I'm gonna go ahead and see how this shit go. Let's get ahead and kick it out of the right out the shoot with the week two rewind. Yeah, we had some picks. We're gonna get into what the record was, but let's go ahead and get into these games though. We're gonna start off with uh Lewis and Ruben's rally team. Banks, you took Lewis. I took Lewis. Draper took Ruben's rally team. Lewis would be the one who come out the win with a 186 to 148 big resounding victory. Uh Lewis is looking strong, man. They were led in scoring by Jonathan Taylor with a 37. They got good key contributors all throughout the offensive, top five, even the flex, 12-9 for a flex. I mean, for the flex, Keenan Allen with 17. Just a strong offensive performance from their top one, two, three, four, five, six, top seven. Brock Bowers at 88, yeah, but I mean, the 6 out of 7 strong. Uh, on the other hand, Ruben's rally team had two good performances from Jay Daniels and Bijan Robinson, 27 points and 21 points respectively. Oh, also with Javante Williams. How can I be so dismissive and disrespectful of him? He had a 29-7. Zay Flowers had a 14, Kelsey a 10. It was too much to not enough. What did you see in this shit, right?
Let me say this right quick. Lewis, and you hinted to it, a few seconds ago. His team, man, man, they did like they strong, man. I'm talking about they out here strong arming people. You know what I'm saying? You know, that squad, they some teams are like you consider them maybe like top heavy, but no, his team is balanced throughout the whole squad. So
Yeah.
so that's going to be a team that I think people going to have to deal with, and they're going to have to see him. You know what I'm saying? Because he did some nice drafting, and he put together a nice squad. So I was expecting for him to pull the victory out this week. It wasn't nothing surprising there for me on Lewis' side, So, but like I said, I'm watching Lewis. I'm keeping my big eye on him. You know what I'm saying? Because I just feel like that he's going to be one of the people that you're going to have to see. You know what I'm saying when it comes playoff time. And as far as Rude's squad go, to me, the bright light on his squad that I can focus on, you just hinted a little bit to him when you brought up his name a few moments ago, was Javante Williams. Nobody expected when Rue picked him that he was going to be the player he has been the first 2 weeks of the season. But he's been balling out of his mind, and I think if he continues to put those kind of numbers up, he's going to really help Rude throughout the season.
Jonathan Taylor, CD Lamb, Keenan Allen turning back the clock, a young rookie in Abuka just putting up numbers. I mean, they're gonna be hard to beat. He got
Yeah.
a nice rookie over there doing this motherfucking thing. Like,
So see, because you would
man,
originally thought, I don't want to interrupt you there, but you would have originally thought with Ibuku and it being a rookie and with Allen being a little long in the tooth, that
hmm.
those would be the weak spots of his squad. But no, they haven't been.
No, they haven't been. I
And
mean, Abuka has three touchdowns in his first 2 games. Come on, man. Let's go ahead and move On to this next matchup, we all took Natural Born Cowards, and Natural Born Cowards did come out with the win. Bread Hunter still sputtering to start the season. He did a little bit better this week, but it was 143 to 111. NBK came out with the win. They were led to score by that man, C Mac. Nothing really spectacular, just some solid bottom of the line DB 11, 9 defensive 10. He cut the Niners defense. I mean, he string, I don't know. But they gave him a 10, Loop a 12, Heckler a 10. Brett Hunt was led by Jack with a 26.98, but nothing more than that. The Cowboys defense was a -5. That was real ugly. Oh man, that I don't know what possessed him to take the Cowboys defense. There's Schuster with a 1.5, Laporta with a 5.6. A lot of uglier, and ugliest type candidates for this week. All those starting roster. Pickens bounced back with a nice 17.8, but Charbonnet a 5.5. AJ Brown still having trouble, not giving much to the offense. Genty not living up to his rookie expectation. I mean, I'm on record saying he will go under 1,000 this year, not because of his talent, but because of the talent of the people who are in front of him, blocking, leading the way. I don't think that they're enough to help him produce. I think he'd be considered a bust. I'm not calling him a bust, but based off what I will project him on to get, based under 1,000 is a bust season. I mean, be that as made me sitting here in this chair saying it, but we just talking about on the field. That's all. Nothing neither here
Yeah.
nor there. You know what I'm saying? He has Scatterboo. He's missing 16 point. You know what I mean? 7. He had the Eagles with 11 on the bench. That's oddly 27 points you left on the table. I don't know if that would have did it, but it might have infused something in the team, and somebody else might have. Uh, I see Golden's on the bench. Hey man, listen, you know, 0-2 is not the end of the season, but you got to get some shit going, Brett. Look, we both, like I said, we both picked. Everybody picked Tyler. What stood out to you most in this matchup right here?
Let me say this. What stood out most in this matchup, if you just ask me that in general, I would say back-to-back weeks for Bread Hunter having 3 to 4 of his top skill players to all score under 10. That would be what would stand out. The first thing I would say to me when I look at the game, that you rarely ever see that happen in in one week. Nevertheless, in back-to-back weeks to
Back
start,
to back weeks. Yeah.
so for Brett Hunter, I'm pretty sure that got to be heartbreaking. And because, like you just mentioned, you have the Cowboys with a -5, the Eagles had an 11. That's a 16-point swing right there. Because you don't get the -5 then, so that means that 5 points is back on your board. Then you get the 11, that's 16 right there. So then you have the Scatterboo with the 16, whatever he had,
Yeah.
versus Juju Smith. The,
16-7.
you talking about that? That's another 15 points right there.
15 points, right? Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I'm saying for
16, you got a 16-point swing with the defense.
yeah, yeah. So you talking about 30 points between just those two if they was in the lineup. So with Hunter, he got to definitely make the right decisions, play the right players. Because I think he had a weak draft, in my opinion. I think he picked the wrong people at the wrong time. So that's something that he's gonna have to like scrape together and try to pull up by his bootstraps and get it together. Now, for the winner of this matchup, MBK, I'm gonna say this: it wasn't really too nothing. And the reason why I started on the Hunter side is because that's what sticks out to me more than on either side, because there's nothing really polarizing or just jumping out of the page for NBK this week either. You have CMAC, but beyond that, you don't have much. So what I would want to tell NBK is that 143 ain't gonna get it done. So you want to try to yourself make sure that you put the right people in, Make the right decisions when it matters the most. Because even though you won this game, don't let that fool you thinking that you can win another game like this, scoring and having that kind of production from your squad. So I want to tell them to go and do your homework and make sure you make the right decisions going forward, and that'll be the best for your squad.
Yeah, at some point you think some of these guys will get it going, but I'm looking up and down the lineup for NBK.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a lot he really could have did. I mean, I guess do you start Rashad White over Travion Henderson? Or, I mean, Higgins is a great flex. You got to go with those three top receivers. You don't want to, well, you don't have a tight end, no backup tight. You don't have a quality tight end. I mean, with Ingram,
Yeah.
I wanted to say this before we get out of here. I just wanted to say this: 111 points. It, that's not going to do it. But what would do you see changes wise, real quick, that he can make? Do you see any? Because I'm looking, and I'm not trying to be funny, but it don't look, it doesn't look like he has very much to choose from the bench, far as can come in and make a difference starting. What would you do going forward? I mean,
Well,
short of making a trade or acquire some different kind of talent, and I don't know what kind of trade he would make if he was to make one. Uh, what would you what would you do?
like I was saying earlier, you put yourself behind the eight ball by how you drafted. First of all, so that's why you look on the bench and you see what you see.
We beyond that. So I mean,
So
got
so
what you
so
got.
so I know. So but I'm saying that's why when you look at the bench, that's why you see what you see though. So but the two players that we just spoke about earlier, Scatterboo and in the Eagles defense, he's now propelling them back into the lineup this week. But when it's all
Would
said
you
and
would
done,
you would you stay with that, or will you kind of juggle as it go, or will you just lock in
well,
with that
well,
and just
well,
say,
well,
"This is what
well,
I got. This is what I'm putting out
well,
here."
well, of course you gotta juggle as you go. Like the one other player that he might got a little juice is Kareem Hunt, but for me, what it really is that because I've never seen this before. His skill players underperform the way that they underperform coming out not even just coming out the gate. Any point in the season where I've seen that many on one team back to back have those type of performances. Let me touch on Ashton Genty. That's the scary one to me out of all of them, really, because when you take Ashton Genty as high as you took him, you was really saying you expect for him to be truly one of the top backs in the fantasy point earners this season. So if he don't live up to what the potential that he's supposed to have, then I mean that throws a big wrench into your whole system right there immediately. And if AJ Brown cannot get it together, I mean this season is a wash for a bread hunt out the gate.
Man, that's saying something. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's get into this Detroit or nothing to die going against the Mac of the year. This shit wasn't even close, man. Salute to our first 200 points scored, and it ain't barely over. It was 207, the Mac of the year. So
Yeah,
161,
yeah,
nothing,
yeah.
man.
And we want to let everybody know that the ticker down at the bottom, it might say 207.2 for the Don, but that's a typo. He only had
Hey,
161.
hold on. I don't know how that got like that, but we can on the fly around here, man. You know what I'm saying? We still can get it together. Bam. Yeah, like you said, it was 207 to 161.12. Uh the Mac of the year was just had everything cooking, baby. He had 21 from Mayfield, 35.6 from Cook. Jalen Warren gave him a 20.8, 38.5 to Jamar Chase. He heard somebody speaking on his name in week one, and he showed him he ain't to be played with. 9-9 for Brian Thomas, WR2, okay. It's right there at 10, Junior Smith, 6-7, JSN 19.3. Like it was just he had Ravens defense a 19, 12 from the punter. He had everything clicking on all cylinders. I mean, it wasn't really much. I mean, 161 is respectable, but not when somebody as hot as the Mac of the year is. I mean, Detroit or nothing had 32 from Hawkinson, 32.8. Mahomes gave him a 24. He had a little couple solid things with the running back, 13 15 respectfully, Brown and Pollard. Nothing for tight end Hawkinson. I, I wouldn't, I would tight Hawkinson, Smith. I don't know, tight end. It might be a hole, but shit. I think the Mac of the year is not concerned. He had 25 from Tucker Craft on the bench. The main could have done. I had a 2.25, man. You feel me? 25 from Daniel Jones. I mean, like Amina Moore, 15.6. Man had a wonderful week. I mean, listen, Mac of the year, I mean, Detroit or nothing, had Davis 19, 16 on the bench, Cup with a 16 with a bounce back. Let me see. Well, he could have flexed that information. It wouldn't have made a difference, but I mean, it'll look better, you know, for a team to have a 170 something and just like shit, man. That nigga just was on this week. You know what I'm saying? I still put up because no points. Back to break. 1 second. Points are going to matter if you get yourself in a contention for the playoff
Mhm.
and you job it up with a couple other teams, but your points ain't hidden. You got to get the offense up, man. That shit matters. You know what I'm saying? Even if you lose the game, if you lose the game and you put up a lot of points, that shit may come to help you later on in the end of the season, man. So you want to try to get your best players on the field as much as you possibly can. I'm gonna go ahead and get this to Banks, man. I know he got some nice shit to tell y'all about this shit, man. What I'm saying, how did you when you were looking at the shit, what you was thinking, man? Like
The first thing I was thinking, shit, I'm glad he didn't play Warren against me last week. That's the first thing I was thinking. Because look, Warren, he can be the key to the Mac of the year going far. Because when you can have somebody like Warren that you weren't even intending on being your starter come in and he lock in like he locked in. I mean, everything else, everybody playing at their potential or higher. I mean, you talking about a juggernaut. That's what you're talking about. And this week, he had people that played at a very very high level. I'll be speaking about them here shortly. Uh, it- but what I'm gonna say is this right here. Excuse me. The Don, they had 161.12. Let me say this. I was reading on the matchup recap, and it was saying, they shouldn't have hold their head down because uh, 161 would have beat over half the teams in the league this week. You know, but that's what's unfortunate. Because who you play that week is who you play that week. And that don't mean that 161 is something that you can carry over to the next week. Whatever you score that week is what you score that week. And unfortunately for the Don, he played a nigga that was a juggernaut this week because 207, like you said, Kraft on the bench could have been even higher. The first person in the 200 club in the Inside the Huddle fantasy football league. I want to congratulate the Mac of the Year on that. And uh, I mean, if he continues to play, like the with a, he's not going to get some of the performances that he got. But if Warren, like I say, the key, he might be the linchpin. If he can perform at a high level, allowing him to match Cook, to match Chase, uh, I mean, you talking about an offense that's going to put up numbers. So when you play the MAC of the year going forward the rest of this season, everybody better be bringing their A game. That's what I tell you.
Man, you ain't never lied. You ain't never fucking lied. I'm looking up and down their roster. Yeah, the niggas got some. They got some hitters. They got some steppers. They got some motherfuckers who can get out there and really get
Yeah,
paper.
yeah, yeah. You better. I'm telling you, you better bring your A game because yeah, yeah. He got some of them niggas where they say him that dude. Shit.
That guy. Yeah. Now for real, for real. All right, shit. Let's move right on to this other shit, man. By the way, we all took the Mac of the year, so
Oh, okay.
we all get us a star for that one. Let's move on to this one right here, man. This is one that you and I both lost. Um, oddly enough, well, we'll get into all that. It
Mhm.
might turn out to be my. It may turn out to be my only loss. Y'all gotta stay tuned. You know what I mean, and see who else I pick. But we're gonna start with this one, man. Hey, man. I'm just gonna say, Michael's Marshall's team, the
Who the
Texas Tycoons, they beat the better team, man. You know what I mean?
who the ticker?
The,
Okay, there we go.
let's get into this one, man. It's MMT, Michael's Monstrous teams, Texas Tycoon going against the better team. And, I mean, MMT came out with the win. They beat the better team. It was 183 to 148. Um, Listen, as I look up and down, they line up the first eight. It's stupid. That's how you want to look, man. If you can get some shit like that going, man, you got 19, Stafford 23, Barkley 23, Kamara,
Yeah.
Nico with a 14, Evans with a 10, Ertz with an 18 out the gate to set the pace. You know what I'm saying? First game of the week last week. Fred wanted you a 15. Hey, man, that'll get it done. You know what I mean? There ain't too many teams this week would have survived that type of performance offensively. And a couple of defenses players chipped in, but I mean 8 in a row, double figures. Man, ain't what much I could do, man. Josh Allen really didn't have a good offensive game, but the team had a good game. He orchestrated the win. Cook just went off and Josh Allen and with a 12, Hampton with a 5-5. I don't know what's going on with the Rook out the gate. Uh, some very underperforming, underwhelming production on the field 2 weeks in a row. Connor solid with a 15. Neighbors did everything he could with a 40. It's 2 weeks in a row we've had players put up 40. You know what I mean? And this week, unfortunately, was in a loss. We had DK with 11, 12 with Tyler Warren, my young rook tight end. He doing his thing, tight end university. Shout out tight end university. Coleman was not the start. Ted was the start. Oddly enough, you put me up the whole chat on the site that predicts who you should start based off who you put in there. I put 4 players in there. They told me this chat start Tech Miller instead of starting Coleman. I thought Coleman, I should have knew better. Sauce Gardner. What was I thinking? Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? I should have just gave him the shot out the gate just to see, what I mean, if the shit was hidden. So now I know it's hidden, but I ain't benefit from it. So now I'm calling the should I do it again or should I not? Should I listen? Should I not? You know what I mean? We have bench burn with Justin Herbert with a 27. I'm 16 with Ferguson. I could have used Ferguson out there. I could have used Tech. I don't know if that would have made a difference. It was a 39-point performance. Let me see. 17, 16, that's 33 and some change. You know, uh, And I wouldn't have been able to flex any but one of them anyway. So that ain't that's a pipe dream. It's neither here nor there. Like I said, M&T beat the better team, man. I took the L. Ain't got no excuses. It's just too much to not enough, man, this week, man. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let you speak on this shit, man. We talk about some changes we've had made. Y'all know how I get down. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pass it, man. What you gotta say, man? For the record, we're disgusted with
Look,
this performance.
look,
Uh,
look, y'all.
I'm gonna try to keep this, within the realm of, a journalist and not GM coach. But I got word that they're really disgusted with this performance, and some changes will be made promptly.
Look, y'all. Let me say this. Let me say this. Y'all could all tell he upset about his loss. Uh, let me start out by saying this. He mentioned how neighbors had a 40 ball this week, which he did, and he still almost lost by 40. So I want that to sink in for people. That he had a 40 ball and he still almost lost by 40. So it was a rough week for TBT. I don't think he deserved to be called the actual whole name this week, y'all. So we're gonna just shorten it to the TBT. So let me say this right here. Uh, MMT, what he gave you this week, he didn't have nobody that shot out of like a cannon. That everybody was eyes got big from when they seen what he did. All he did was have everybody do their job. And that's all that you ask from a motherfucker when you go to a real job, when you got somebody on the street making money. Do your job. And that's what everybody did for MMT this week. For Mike, that everybody goddamn me from the top to the bottom, they just did their job. And when if you have a collective unit, they all come together and everybody do their job, then you're gonna put up numbers.
You gonna put up numbers.
And the other team you playing against, they can't afford to not do the same thing because everybody did their job on your side. So that means when you look over here, if everybody ain't doing their job over here, then that's how you get the score that you got, 183 to 148. And I'm gonna say this. Uh, my eyes was open a little bit more to Mike's squad this week with the way that they played because what they did is they spoke, they showed rather what they can do and what they can be. You know what I'm saying? And so now, like I said, my eyes opened a little bit. Like, oh, okay, oh shit, okay. So this is what they can do. You know what I'm saying? So I want to salute Mike for coming to his bringing this team together, and they did a great job this week.
They got a nice large jam on the bench of receivers too. Water came up big this week with a 17.8. That's a good flex number that you can't put in the game. Jalen Williams had a 20.8, two catches, 108 yards and a touchdown. I mean, that's big performance you can't
And,
really put in the
and let me
game, but
and let me say something else though too on what you said. You had said something, and I gotta like correct you on that because you wrong on that. You said that Josh Allen had a good game. No, he
the
didn't.
team, I mean, leading the team as the captain of the team, it
Well,
just so happened the running was on.
well.
Still the offense. That's
Let me
you
ask you:
got to respect
Are
him
you
for the
talking
running
about?
the
Are
tape
you talking
sometimes.
about in the NFL or in fantasy? What are you talking about?
No, fantasy had a horrible game. Well,
Oh,
man,
okay,
he had a
so that's
12.
the only thing.
Well, I know that he had a 12. I'm just speaking in general. I'm
Yeah,
speaking,
yeah, but
you
nah,
know,
nah, we can't let you
my
slide
guy.
that one though because we talking about fantasy. He didn't have no good game, and I'm saying that is unacceptable for Josh Allen to come out with a 12, even if you routing a motherfucker. Like you got to still have some kind of contribution to the route. Goddamn me. And he,
I'm still always jump out there in front of it, bullet for it, man. That's what
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's your guy. You took him one, so I mean,
By the way, Draper is the only one who picked this correct. He picked the upset.
yeah.
Great game, MMT. We'll see y'all later on in the season, man. We're gonna move this shit right along. We got no glory going against Mac Magnificent team. That's Mac Twin,
Mm,
my nigga Mac Twin. Not for the win this week, man. So 0-2. So it's a rough start to start with. And you know what? Unlike Bread Hunter, who's 0-2, Twin has actually put up some points. It's
yeah.
just, he just had some bad matchups, really bad matchups. Draper on the cusp of over $2, 199.26 versus 149, a 50 ball. You understand me? With a 50 and Curtis Jackson on top of this man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing to hang your head at, but I mean, Henry with a 6'3", that's ugly.
Ooh.
That's some ugly shit right there. You
Ooh.
know, Brees Hall, 7'9", Hunter, 8'2",
Ooh.
Hollywood, a 8. That's a 4 right there. That's a hole right there, sandwiched with a 15 from Jawan Johnson and Debo with a 17.4. Even with 23 from Aubrey, it's just not enough. Yeah, I don't know how many games you would think you could count on Aubrey to get 23, but he capable. But I
Mm,
mean, you can't, you don't really, you really don't want to spoil performances like that. Just like the 40 ball, what I mean, from neighbors. You don't, when somebody give you that type of outside extraordinary type performance like Aubrey, 23 is crazy. And
crazy.
Bills defense of 18. Yeah, man, you gotta have more shit going on. But I mean, it's we got Dak going for 24 and Jacobs of 20.9 and Bucky at 23 and respectively and Mars St. Brown with a 40.1.
Ooh.
Not the most though this, week, 6 percentage points, what, point 0.6 difference. I mean, his impact was more, yeah, more. His impact was way more felt than the other 40 in this league. 9-8 for McLaurin, the Joker, 8, Swift, a 19-9, just solid contribution, 14 from the defense. Yeah, man, like I say, it was too much to not enough. We all took no nuts, no glory in this game. Obviously, he would take his out. And man, Twin can't catch a break early this season, man. Shit. Don't hold your head, man, Twin, man. Shit, this shit ain't over. Just, uh I would say a minor setback. It's kind of a major setback, but then it's still a major comeback, available to be had. You feel what I'm saying? So shit, man. I'm gonna go ahead and get your input on this shit.
Well, let me tell you this right here. Let me start off right here. Last week, we had a squad where the defense, if you remember, led the whole squad in points, the whole starting squad in points. Now that team won the game, but they led the whole squad in points.
I know what you could say.
This week, you have Mac Twin squad led by Brandon Aubrey with 23 points. But it's a different impact with when you have the defense doing it versus when you have the kicker doing it. Because usually kickers gonna get them some points. You know what I'm saying? So if you got the defense that's doing it, then they don't take away. They add. But when the kicker is doing it, your defense probably didn't perform at that high of a level, so that means you don't you giving and you not taking. But what I'm saying, Twin whole lineup damn near underperformed. Like I say, Brandon Ivory led them in points. So that was the death of him this week. Uh, not being able to perform offensively because the team that he was going up against this motherfucking week. I mean, they was trying to throw body blows with the Mac of the year on who was going to lead this week in scoring, and they was tough, man. I'm talking about from the quarterback position, the running back position, the receiver position. They just was getting the job done, man. So I salute No Nuts, No Glory because they picked that number 11. And a lot of people will be always saying where you get that really means something. Well, maybe it do, or maybe it just don't to somebody that know what they doing. So I give No Nuts No Glory they props for being 2-0. For having a
Yeah,
great
too.
win this week. And Twin 0-2. I mean, you definitely don't want to start out 0-3. So hopefully Twin can put it together and put the right players out there that's going and hopefully they perform for him.
That's all you can hope for right now. I mean, he left 53 points on the bench. It still wouldn't have been enough, but
Because
um,
50 ball is a 50 ball.
uh, let's move on to this game, which was also a blowout. It was He Who Remains, HWR, going against Phil Belichick, and this wasn't even close. It was 189 to 135. 50, what's that? 50, 54, a 5-4 on them, almost a 5-5. Man, hey man, when Joe Burrow goes down, that's a rough way to start early.
Yeah,
You get
yeah,
29 from May Change, 23 from Walker, Hill to 17. Harrison starting off slow again. McBride solid with a 13. Uh, Oddly enough, I don't know, it wouldn't still wouldn't have made a difference because he who remains was just they were just on. They were just on this week. But yeah, I'm looking at his bench. I'm moving down. He had Shaheed, he had Travis, he had Robinson. He could have flexed Robinson. He still believed in Devontae. He could have 29. I mean, I don't know who would have saw that coming, or maybe Travis could have ran with a three-head monster running backs. You know what I mean? Points. I mean, still points still count. You feel me? So he ain't 0-2. He just got one loss, but points still count, man. You know what I'm saying? You want to get all the points. You want to put the right people. It's like chess, man. This shit is not checkers. You know what I mean? You got to put the right people on the board. You might need them points. You left a lot of money on the floor, and even though it would not have mattered because Joe Burrow, he just you never know. But I mean, again, it's a case of too much to not enough. Like I say, 189.98. Love with a solid 21. He's been spectacular out the gate the first two games. A tremendous draft pick for the value that you got him in. You all everybody know what Gibbs is, man. He's walking 20 ball, man. 22.6. Kyrie came in low with a 14, but it didn't matter. Puka was strong, 28.4. He's the lead dog over there, and he's showing it each and every week. Yeah, Wilson with a 10, a low with imagine this, you get 189.98 and performances of the week at tight end with a 1.9 with him, man. Come on, man. You know, 10, you got 12 down there, 12 points from your tight end and your wide receiver. McConkey is decent with 9.8. You know what I mean? We ain't gonna poo-poo that. But the big ball I like is that 22.5 from Roquan Smith. The 19, a good string with the Seahawks defense, Boswell, punter. That's 22 points, kicker and punter. Man, that's just too much to not enough, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and give you your flowers as far as with this performance, and I'm gonna give you your stage. I'm gonna go ahead and let you finish. But that's a nice 2-0 start.
yeah, yeah. Appreciate it. But let me say this though. I said last week that my team underperformed, and that somebody might think I'm crazy what I'm about to say this week because we scored more points this week than we did last week. So somebody might say I'm crazy what I'm about to say, but I'm telling y'all, we underperformed again this motherfucking week. We had a 1 point and change from the goddamn tight end. we had.
Wait a minute. Can I just say something? I don't mean to interrupt you. I just want to say this right quick. You said y'all underperform. Do you? Is it safe to say the real question is you have some underperformers in the lineup? Is that more safe to say than your team underperform? Is it safer to say that you just have underperformers in those positions? And you know what position we're talking about? Is
Well,
that a better better way of saying it?
no, no, no. Well. Let me say this. Uh, at tight end is my iffy position. Let me just say that off the rip. That's my iffy position. But
I have another one.
but McConkey is supposed to be an uprising start in the NFL, and it's a lot has been expected from him this season. But niggas like Keenan Allen is showing that nigga, I still can play. Niggas like Quinshon Johnson is saying, no, nigga, raising his hand up like, no, I can play too. You know, so all of the targets and they not going to McConkey like that. So he having to me just perform at the level that he can perform at. So the previous week he had a way better game, and everybody along with Wilson, uh, along with Kyron Williams, they all had bad games this week, but the previous week they all had okay and good games. Somebody might say they had good games. Let me say that they just didn't have great games, and that's what I was saying when I say that about the underperforming is that they had good games, but they can have great games, which but they didn't have them. You know, so just like Gibbs still haven't had a great game yet this season. You know, so what I'm saying is that no, I wouldn't say what you insinuated, which is that are they not just gamers? Are they just average Joes? And I'm saying hell to the no. They who they are. But I just expect at minimum a good game from them, and hopefully I get a great game. But I don't never expect to get a bad game, and that's what I got from several of them this week. Bad game. So like that's basically what that is with them. So that's answering that question. But let me send a shout out also to Auto Pick because the only pick that I allowed Auto Pick to take for me in the entire draft, and it was by accident, but I'm glad they did. It was Roquan Smith, and let me tell you, this guy has lived up to the billing. I haven't even looked, at who is the number one linebacker in the game. But I can guarantee goddamn to you who it is. It's Roquan Smith because nobody got the goddamn
I'm
numbers
sure.
that Roquan Smith got in the first 2 weeks of the season. Nobody. Roquan Smith probably lead every
He
defense
number one
player.
position, right? He number one position,
He
right?
probably let me rephrase that. Roquan probably lead every defensive motherfucking player in the league in fantasy points right now. That's what I'm let me
25 tackles in 2 games and a touchdown. He's outstanding. He's outstanding. But this is what I mean. Yeah, shout out to the auto pick Roquan. This is what I want to say real quick. Uh, 21 points from wide receiver, tight end, flex. Uh, some people saying that may be the weak spot of your team. Are you comfortable with getting 21 points from those three positions as a whole combined? I mean, it you don't have a backup tight end. And tight end, I mean Hunter Henry in 2 games. I mean, I know you got faith in him, but in 2 games he has 12 12 points, 4 catches, 1 game, 866 yards. First game was pretty decent. Then 1 for 3. So I mean, I guess he could go on and off like every 2 or 3 games, get a 10 or somewhere in that range. Uh,
well let
you
me speak
comfortable
on
with that? You comfortable because that is definitely gonna be a low spot. I mean, you can spot
a
that.
low spot. So hold on. The first week, at the wide receiver position. McConkey had 15 or
Talking about Hunter Henry. Talking about Hunter Henry.
Hunter Henry. Okay, well
Talking about Hunter Henry.
let me speak on that. Let me speak on that. It's something else I want to say after this segment, but let me say this though. Hunter Henry is no longer part of my team. We picked up Fanning, tight end from the Cleveland Browns. He the number 9 tight end in the league. He averaged like over 11 points a game through the first 2 games. So he is now our tight end on the waiver wire. We picked him up and we dropped Hunter Henry. So we hopefully that be the solution
Breaking news.
going forward at the tight end position.
Breaking news. That's breaking news.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, shit, man. We ain't gonna hold your feet to the fire too heavy, man. Good win this week. Uh, the- we all went 5-1. Me, you, and Drake. So it was a good week overall between me and you. I'm 10-2. You're 8-4. And of course, Drake was 5-1. He's not here this week, but he may be here for the picks. We don't never know. We'll see. You know what I mean? People pop in any given
But,
time.
but look, y'all. He'll find a banner or something to throw up in this. So when I say this, so he can cut it and just start it when I'm about to start saying now. But breaking news. We have a trade that went on this week, and we want to alert everybody in the Inside the Huddle Football Fantasy League on the trade, and we're gonna give a little quick a couple of thoughts on the trade. But I want to start out by turning it over to my fellow compadre here. You know what I'm saying? Laugh face, goddamn me, the better team. I say it for this occasion. And the floor is yours, sir.
Well, shout out to Auto Pick. Um, you know, um, we had, Mario Hampton out the gate hasn't, exactly lived up to, the standard that we drafted him as an asset. So we felt that we had a need, and just so happened another team had a need of a guy we had who was a tremendous player. Shout out to Justin Herbert, man. He's over there on the bench averaging a mid with almost 25 points a game, somewhere in that range.
Yeah,
And along with that, well, maybe, we got on the phone, uh, asked them, like, y'all need a quarterback. And it just so happened. I mean, it just so happened. Shout out again to AutoPick. We just so happen to have a QB1 on the bench, a bona fide QB1 on the bench. And I mean, with Joe Burrow going down, it was just a perfect fit. We had to come in with some details. There was some other things that we discussed, but we end up, swapping Tracy for Wendell Robinson. You know, um, he felt like he wanted to get a running back in return, giving up Travis Etienne. You know, he wanted to just do quarterback for, but we can't do we weren't prepared to do that type of deal. ETN for Justin. We seen
yeah,
some other people over there we wanted to, and it wouldn't have made sense for us to have that log jam. So
yeah,
we had to swap some players in position. We got some good receivers over there, but we needed a good running back, and we didn't want to keep another running back that was good. So it worked out for everybody. He got his QB1, get to continue to have an opportunity to keep afloat in this league. Because I mean, hey man, without a hole at quarterback, without a leader, man, that could be devastating. And shit, man, it worked out. We sent it through. It came back real quick, and shit, man. I'm happy. Because my running back situation was iffy with the Morion and with Tracy. I was having a drink, we was having some cocktails with one of these franchise owners, man, and they was saying, "Hey, man, your RB2 might be RB3 at the team he played for." You know what I mean? So that you know. sometimes just conversation, man. I'm a thinker, and I'll take something somebody say, and I'll really say, "Hey, man, you know what? Let me go look at that in the mirror. Let me examine it under the microscope." You know what I mean? I might need to go far, get a telescope, but I need to observe this, man, a little deeper. And hey, it just had Joe not went down, I know that this trade would not have happened, but it was just a perfect marriage. Shit, man. Shout out to Phil Belichick, man. So shit. I hope everybody get what they looking for in this trade. We took a loss. I think the points was like 88-73. They saying we gave up too much, but we don't really look at it like we gave up too much because I mean, maybe one time this year, hopefully if everything goes according to plan, he Herbert would have been on the field. And it didn't make no sense for us to be holding it back. He wants to lead the team and try to get to the Super Bowl just like all the other quarterbacks. So, we granted him this trade request and it worked out. So,
Yeah.
um, you got anything else to put on this, man? We can put a
Look, look,
bow on this whole thing.
look. Let me say this. Let me say this. Once again, shout out to Auto Pick because they picked him for you and they allowed him to be able to be a part of a trade piece where both of you guys needed help. And for Phil Belichick, I feel like he won the trade for simply this right here. His
Yeah, we
backup
gotta ask who.
his backup plan, which is Justin Fields, had got a concussion. He ain't gonna even play this week. So this is a time and point where you're not trying to go backwards, you're trying to go forwards. So if you scrambling and don't have nobody that's going to be the head of the snake on your squad, then that ain't no good look for you. So for him to be able to make the deal and get one of the top five quarterbacks in the league, uh, maybe top three quarterbacks playing right now, you gotta be saying to yourself, "Wow, I can't believe I was able to even pull something like that off." You know what I'm saying? Because you put yourself right back in position where you now are better than you really was the previous 2 weeks because Herbert has been playing better than what Joe Burrow was playing. So you you are really like the better team. You know what I'm saying? Than what you was previously to the trade. And for you, uh, like you said, the Hampton, he haven't been performing up to what you would like. So in turn, you need to be able to feel that with somebody that's solid that you maybe can count on more. So I think that it was a good trade for both sides, and like you say, Herbert ain't gonna see the field. You got MVP Josh Allen. So I mean, hey man, it was a nice deal that you made in the middle of the
My
night.
number
I
one.
mean, and I give both of y'all props on making sure y'all try to keep y'all team in the hunt and stay afloat.
It was luck, man. It was opportunity meet preparation. And, when those two come together, good things can happen. Some people call it luck. That's what I call it. Opportunity and preparation meet. We had the shit together. The opportunity presented itself. It's a great marriage. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody this week. Give y'all self an applause, man.
Nice,
Great game.
buddy. Yeah.
Great game. Great game. Great trade. Let's move on to this segment that we like to call turn the lights down a little bit low and get the ambiance just right. It's Big Bank's fine dining now.
Yes, sir, indeed. I want to welcome everybody to the Fine Dining Hour, where each week we highlight the top five players that set the table for their teams to eat. Now, coming in at number five, the opponents was asking, which way do he go? Which way do he go? Because you didn't know if he was a receiver or a running back. With 8 receptions for 91 yards and throw in one carry for 45 yards and a touchdown. That is Puka Nakua. And he had with a 28.4 coming in at number five, Puka Nakua. Now, part of a two-headed monster, this guy and his compadre were like dogs fighting for scraps the first duo to make the fine dining hour. At number 4, he had 21 carries for 132 yards and 2 scores, with 1 reception for 3 yards. That be James Cook with a 35.6. Mr. James Cook at number 4. At number 3, he was a jack of all trades, a Swiss Army knife, if you will, telling his team to follow my lead with 25 carries for
Oh
160
shit, I tripped
yards.
out. Run it back, run it back.
Okay. All right. I want to welcome everybody to the Fine Dining Hour, where each week we highlight the top 5 players that set the table for their teams to eat. Coming in at number 5, the opponents were asking, which way do he go? Which way do he go? Because you didn't know if he was a receiver or a running back. With 8 receptions for 91 yards and throw in 1 carry for 45 yards and a touchdown. That is Puka Nakua with a 28.4. That's coming in at number 5 with a 28.4, Puka Nakua. Part of a two-headed monster, this guy and his compadre were like dogs fighting for scraps. The first duo to make the fine dining hour. At number 4, he had 21 carries for 132 yards and 2 scores, with 1 reception for 3 yards. That beat James Cook with a 35.6. Coming in at number 4, that's James Cook with a 35.6. At number 3, he was a jack of all trades, a Swiss Army knife, if you will be, telling his team to follow my lead with 25 carries for 165 yards, along with 2 receptions for 50 yards and a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor with a 37.5. Coming in at number 3, the jack of all trades, Swiss Army knife, Jonathan Taylor with a 37.5. Soaring in at number 2, after an abysmal first week of the season, part of the Starsky and Hutch duo, he definitely redeemed himself and he tried to make up for his discretions from the first week with a 14 big receptions for 165 yards and 1 touchdown. That's former LSU Tiger Jamar Chase with a 38.5. Now again, that's part of the Starsky and Hutch duo. We talking about Cook and Chase on the same squad. Coming in at number 2 this week, again, former LSU Tiger, Jamar
Fuck
Chase,
the beat.
with a 38.5. Now, last on the fine dining hour, or better yet, first would be the correct term because he's not behind anybody this week. And he roared like the lion that he is and was the king of the jungle with 9 receptions for 115 yards and the most touchdowns of any player this season with 3 scores and added 2 carries for 7 yards. Amon Ra St. Brown with a blistering 40.1. And again, he is last, but now, better yet, first. And he is the only person to score 3 touchdowns in a game this season. And that's Amon Ross St. Brown with a blistering 40.1. And that is the conclusion of this week's Fine Dining Hour. Now,
It was some nice dining going on this
yeah,
week.
it was. Yeah, it was. They like, hey,
Fine, fine dining. Yeah.
yeah, it was. Them boys were getting their job done this week. I tell you that. Now, I will say it's a. I want to send a shout out to this guy. I usually wouldn't do this, but I do want to send a shout out to Malik Neighbors with that 40.7 that he had this week. But he couldn't make the fine dining hours when his team couldn't get the job done though. But what everybody y'all know I already be waiting on. They want to see, what am I who am I putting on this list right here? Who is like on the beauty of the week? Well, let me tell y'all. This week we have a two-time Olympic gold medalist, Suna Lee. Yeah, we put
Nah,
yeah we going we going
nah,
we going on that other side. You know what I'm saying? Goddamn me. Yeah, man. Like look. Let me tell you, Sue.
nice, beautiful woman.
You know what I'm saying? That man. I I I I said when I seen that picture, I seen that nip. Oh my gosh, her right there, boy. Ooh wee. You know what I'm saying, dude?
I thought that was part of the dress, how the dress was made.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know what? Just the flexibility and who she is. Like, come on, man. I'm talking about she's a talent in every which way. You know what I'm saying? In every which way. And that's beauty of the week, Sanaa Lee.
You always come with some fire,
Yeah, man.
week after week after week.
Yeah, man. And for everybody that's new to our show, on like new to Beauty of the Week, I want to let everybody know every woman that's on Beauty of the Week, she's an athlete of some kind. So we're not just going to pick some random Instagram model and all that. I mean, it's millions of those out there that we want to do that. No, we want to show the side of athletes that's
These
still
beautiful
beautiful.
athletic women.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. Shout out to that. Salute. You always on point. Uh Put up with this I told you I wanted to touch on the top scores
yeah.
um each week. We're not gonna get into, the top five. We're just gonna highlight the top three, you know what I mean? And this week, after the week two, that is, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Cook is leading the league in scoring with 30.15 points per game, followed by Bijan with a 29.35 and Jack with a 29. Jack with on a team not meeting his production. And who Bijan played for, I don't think they off to a good start either.
But look, you know what? You surprised me with that one right there. I played Cook last week, and I guess,
Ruben.
and I didn't even realize Cook was averaging 30 a game. Cook out there doing his thing.
And keep a weekly look on who's leading the league in scoring. You know, that may or may not be the person who ends up with the MVP at the end of the season because obviously you got to win with your team too, other than just putting up points. But shout out to those three guys, man. You know what I mean? We got some honorable mentions, but y'all go check out the score, man. Y'all can see the whole list. It's in the app. Uh, Normally right here we do the uglier, ugliest. But
Mhm.
outside of one game, there wasn't really that many games that you could point at and be like, that's an ugly game. Teams lost. I guess I could have went by the margin of defeat and victory, but a couple of them teams scored more than my team. So how would I even call it ugly? You know what I'm saying? Even though they got blown out more, we still got blown out down to 30, 40 points. So I mean, we ain't got really much to say. It was too much ugly. I would have had to make a list based off that criteria. So we left that alone, man. But what we did do is come up with good looking, and we want to shout out the top scores of teams this week, man. You know what I mean? We want to give a nod to he who remains, who scored 180 points this week, and no nuts, no glory had 199.26, almost $2 in the course. The Mac of the year with that 207.
And I
You
and
know
I
what I mean?
scored 189 too. I just want to let everybody
Oh shit. How did well hell, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me get the man his points, man. Shit. Bam, there you go. There
Hey,
you go. He
hey,
who remains 109.18, man. You know what I'm saying? You got anything on those three guys up forward and these three teams right here? Two of
look,
them are undefeated.
look. Let me say this. The Mac of the Year woke up this week. Let me say that his team fucking woke up. And I said earlier, no nuts, no glory. Uh, to, to throw out all of the wonder about picking at number 11, they was hitting on all cylinders this week. And for my squad, like I said, you seen it yourself. We had four skill players that tremendously underperform. So if they perform at just a minimum of what they do, I mean, then we score 230, 240. Come on, man. So I'm just saying. So I mean, that's the kind of week that we could have had. But you know.
Hey, give me a break. Give me a break. Shout out to BT, man. That nigga funny as fuck. He be talking some real shit on them business. Uh, okay, shit, man. Shout out to those three teams, man. Y'all see y'all, man, doing y'all thing. Big bounce back from the Mac of the Year, right? $2. We'll see how this shit keep going forward. But let's go ahead and get into, my little segment, my little baby that I'm gonna get in legs. This is LAV's TB5, the best five, man. We're gonna get into the best five teams as seen by LAV. Um, Jumping right in, I'm gonna say this before I get into anything at all. The list looks the same as what the standings look like. So
Okay.
if you've seen the standings, you know how LAV's TV5. And this was before I even looked at the standings. So I didn't look at the standings. I wasn't lazy and just looked at the standings and came up with LAV's TV5. No, I looked at scoring and record and what people was last year. You know me, my if you know me, you know my philosophy, man. Hey man, you cannot lose your spot unless you get dropped. You know what I'm saying? If you don't lose and you win, you just either move up or you stay right where you at comfortable in the first class. So let's go ahead and get into LAB's TV5, the best five. Number five on this list, we have the better team. They were number one um, going into this week, had a horrible week. That drops them all the way from one to five based off the point production, based off the teams, below them, just behind them, and based off, like I say, the list already have them like that. So if two or more gather, it must be the truth. So the truth is the best team, the better team. I don't know why I keep calling them the best team. I might be psychic premonition or something. But that's neither here nor there. Okay, the better team, number five. Let's move it right along, man. Let's get into the number four on TV5, and that's the Mac of the Year. Of course, they wasn't on last week, but with that type of performance, they got to jump on the list. You know what I mean? 1-1, the other team's 1-1. You know what I mean? You can't put something like that. That's a remarkable performance. That may be the high scoring all year, or they may do it again. Who knows? We'll see. But right now, we see that they are number four on the LAB's TV5. So let's go ahead and get into number three. Number three on the list is a team that was just, if you remember, there was honorable mention. I had them honorable mention last week. They were right there on the doorstep at LAB's TV5. It was at number six. And shit, with the loss of a couple teams on this list, they fall right into place at number three. They put up 199 points. It's well deserved. They right where they should be. But I mean, come on, man. Lewis is number two. They can't go higher than that. So no one could ever have a dispute with that. That's concrete. We ain't gonna talk about that. But shout out to No Nuts, No Glory. They're undefeated, the 2-0. They're number three on LEV's top of it. TB5, the best five. And like I said, number two is Lewis. Shout out to Lewis, man. Shout out to Coach Tommy. That's my boy. That's my son's flag football coach. I ain't know he know how to do this shit too, man. You know what I mean? He told me he ain't never played. I got my eye on you, man. You know what I'm saying? You like that pool player. So I don't know, man.
Yeah.
How you do this shit, man? And then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, when you get on out there, and then all of a sudden he causes a so say he don't straighten up and shit. You know, he walking straight. I ain't fooling me, Coach Tommy. But man, shout out to Coach Tommy Lewis. They're 2-0 on the season. They move up a spot. Yeah,
Mhm.
they was number three. They move up a spot. They remain undefeated. But I mean, hey man, the top is what right. I mean, at the top of the Mount Everest division. So why wouldn't they be top of LAV's top TV5? I mean, what a performance they had this week. They win, they go 2-0. Right now, they the cream of the crop. They sitting at the top of the hill, man. They sitting at the top of the motherfucking mountain, the top of it. It's he who remains, HWR, man. Shout out to them, man. That is LAV's the top of the five. I don't think anybody could dispute anything like that, man. Like I said, when two or more gathers the truth for AI and me. The AI really might have seen my paper, man. You know what I mean? I think he was cheating off me. But be that as it may, the AI is brilliant because you know what I'm saying, man. Hey man, we got the same top to bottom. LAV is the top of the best five, TB5, man. Yeah, it is. You see it. Shout out, man. Shout out to everybody who made the list. Let me give my guys a round of applause, man. And myself, a round of applause for a flawless finish.
Look,
You know what? What you
look,
say?
look. Let me tell you, it's a great list. Like you said, nobody can dispute the list. So, the first of all, the list is your list. That's first of all. But nobody can dispute the list though because you did it within facts. You know what I'm saying? Within reason. You know what I'm saying? As of what's going on. Now let me say this. Uh, Tommy deserved to be number two. Um, no Nuts deserved to be number three. Them the only three undefeated teams in the league. You know, you can't be undefeated and a nigga ahead of you. So you know what I'm saying. So that's stewed in reality what you did. You know, so I think that it's real close right now between me and Lewis, but but we're gonna see how everything shakes in this next week because we have some big games coming up this next week. We have some people favored, some people not favored, and we're gonna talk about that here shortly.
Shout out to my honorable mention, Ruby's Raleigh team. I got them at number six. I mean, maybe somebody could argue that they need to be number five over the better team, and they need to be number six. But you know what I mean? Call me biased, but I'm looking at it with a journalist's eye, with facts. Like my boy said, my fam Goon said. Famo. All right, shit. You just mentioned next up matchups. Oh, look, my bad. Shout out. Let me give Ruben's Rider team this little,
All
you know
right,
what I mean?
all
Let me
right.
get to him right there. Let it go across there. Let it go across. All right, let's get into week three matchups, man. Let's get into these head to head. Me and you. We in a lab again. Let's get these motherfucking games. You sent me your picks. I'm gonna give you mine. So let's go ahead and get into this first matchup. I think
Okay.
there is a sense of biasness going on with you, but you know what I mean. I ain't mad at you, you know. Uh, but um, Ruben's Rider team. Speaking of Ruben's Rider team, they're going against Brad Hunter. Brad Hunter need a win oh so badly. Oh yeah, listen, man. 0-3 will be horrific. You don't want to swim in them type of waters, man. It's so deep. No diddy. No homo. No yo gay yo. Whatever they say, whatever the kids say these days, man. I ain't. Hey man. I'm just saying. But you don't want to be 3-0. I mean 0-3. You want to be 3-0. You don't want to be 0-3 You know what I mean? Ruben Riley team, they would like to get this win. They're favored 170 to 161, but you know how we feel about projections. You know what I mean? You got to do it on the field. Um, they're going to be Ruben's going to be led in scoring projection by Bijan Robinson, and then you got 27 from Jack, who he gonna get by 27.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I was Riley team on this one right here.
O-
You have
Okay, with me,
wait, hold on. I don't mean to cut you off. Let me go ahead and give the people why, because I don't want to just throw them out there. I'm gonna take Ruben Riley team because Brad Honey got to show me something, man. Until they show me something, I'm not. I can't go down there to this people table and just throw away money. I can't afford to do that, man. You got to show me something. When you show me something, then you know what I mean. Yeah, I believe in you. But right as we're going this right now, hey man, you got I don't see. Let me see. Real quick. Okay, Scatterboy Flex. Jinxie Charbonnet. We're going Charbonnet again. Who else he had? Hunt. Okay, Charbonnet 15. He going by them points projection. Okay, yeah, I got Ruben because I just think that he. Damn, he got Jennings in the lineup. I ain't see that one. I don't think one gonna be ready. Why wouldn't he start Pittman? Maybe he will make some changes. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna think that he's gonna, you know, make a change before uh when Jen is Sunday. I think he's gonna make a change right there. But so I'm gonna go ahead and pick Ruben. But I wouldn't be surprised if Brad does get this win. Would it be a considered an upset if he do? I mean, he's projected to get 161 points, but thus far he hasn't gotten past 112. Would it be an upset?
you
But I
know,
got Ruben. I took Ruben.
look, I can clearly see hands down where you standing on business when you say, he got to show you something because, like you just mentioned, he ain't scored more than 111 points. So even though they got him projected so high, can he live even up to that? You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking this is going to be the week that AJ Brown break out. I think we look to see an 18 to 20 point game from AJ Brown this week. And I think that,
Played them pretty good in the playoffs.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think that this is the week that Ashton Genty finally break out. So I'm picking Bread Hunter this week based off I think the performances that he's been getting from his top skilled players haven't been performances. So I think that they're gonna finally show up, and when they show up, that's gonna finally allow Bread Hunter to get their first victory.
DT, you okay with bringing Scatterboo back and putting him back in the lineup?
Yeah, I'm okay with that because I think that everybody else saw last week how things are going with the pecking order with the running game for New York, and I think that Scatterboo is going to get as many carries as anybody else in that backfield. So he's going to have that opportunity, and what he's going to always have the opportunity of is if they get down low on the goal line, he going to be the guy that they're going to try to give the ball to push it in. So when you always have that opportunity to be able to score, then versus the other people that's on your team, then I think that that's where I would play him this week definitely, hands down. I would over Juju. What are we talking about? Juju had a one this past week. There's no way that I would play him over Scatterboo.
Feel that. This next matchup we got the Mac of the Year, Phil Belichick. They get a chance to put their new quarterback out there. We're gonna go back and forth with this. So I'm gonna let you go. I'm just gonna say the projections 169 and 162, and then I'm gonna go after you go.
You know what? This was a tough one. This was a tough one for me because when I looked at it, what stands out for you with the Mac of the Year is the chases of the world. What like you just showed, Cook is leading the whole motherfucking all of fantasy with 30 points a game. So you ask yourself, uh, can Browning, the new quarterback for the Bengals, can he keep it going in what he did with the connection that he had with Chase last week? And I'm thinking that he can. I'm thinking that he can. So I think that's going to be the key, and I think that he's going to feed Chase. So I don't see Chase having a downslide since with Browning being in there. So it would, and I do give Phil Belichick a real shot here this week. I was close to picking Phil Belichick, but I just feel that is that the McAfee have just a little bit more firepower this week. So I'm going with the McAfee here.
Um, okay. Yeah, we got you down on that. I'm gonna say this right here. I was looking at the lineup back and forth, and I see the Cook and the Mayfield. Shout out Mayfield, my nigga. Got me to the Super Bowl last year. We got Jalen Warren, Chase. It was funny you brought up Browning. Oddly enough, uh, we thought highly of him enough to bring him in. Now he's QB. He's our backup quarterback, QB2. Um, so we do think he's going to be able to keep Chase production going. Um, I just believe that this is the week uh, Phil Belichick will get some things going. He'll have a quarterback to lead the team, one who will you can count on is going to put up good numbers. Um, A Chain, Walker, Hill. I think Harris is gonna get back on. McBride always gonna stay solid. And look for Devontae. I don't know if AJ is gonna get out, but I think this is gonna be a nice breakout game for Devontae Smith. I think he's gonna get a touchdown, about 5 catches, about 87, 89 yards, maybe even go over 100. Um, and I think it's just gonna be the leadership at the top. I think they're gonna benefit from Justin Herbert being on the field, and that's gonna be a breath of fresh air for Phil Belichick to get them back to their winning ways, get them right at 2-1 instead of 1-2. No disrespect to the Mac of the Year, I just think it's hard to go behind 207. I
Mm,
mean, let's see if there is some kind of such thing as a hangover from
yeah,
that type of high.
yeah.
Not comparing their team to our team in any aspect, but we led the league in scoring. It wasn't $2, but we led the league in week 1, and we kind of had a hangover from that high. We got up a little too high in the clouds and something. And, sometimes you get a little dizzy, you got to come down a little bit. That don't mean you ain't still doing your thing, man. I just think it might be decided by some uh people you least suspect to show up who haven't been showed up. So like I say, I got Phil Belichick, you got the Mac of the Year. Uh Shout
Okay.
out to both of them. Let's move right along and get into this next matchup. We got Max Magnificent Team. Shout out to Mac Twin. Just some hard man. Listen, what can you say, man? The man is one of the top scoring teams in the league, and despite that, they don't have a victory to show for it. And they're coming into a matchup with a very hot team. Uh, MMT going against MMT. Uh, Michael, Lil Mike, and Mac Twin. Uh, Listen, Matthew Stafford showed up. He put Matthew Stafford in the lineup this past week, and the offense went. We was on the field. We we bear witness to it, man. We was a victim of it. So we saw it, firsthand. Barkley gonna be Barkley, Kamara. You I took, huh? I took Twin. No, 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 no. Sorry, man, Twin. I'm gonna hold you to the same standard I hold Bray Hunter, man. You gotta show me, man. I'm not getting out there. This ain't homeboy. This ain't the homeboy league, man. Hey, man. I believe in the offense that. Listen, man. Lil Mike put together a good team, baby. He took advantage of his position in the draft and he put together one of the most formidable teams in the league. Talked about it. Go take a look at him. Look at him, man. He said, man, I ain't going against that. I had to change my pick. I got MMT, man. And I'm talking about little Mike. I don't know what I was thinking when I first wrote this shit down, but yeah, man, I ain't getting out there but niggas in the middle of the street getting ran down. Yeah, they gotta show me. Twin, you gotta show me, baby.
See, for me, when I took a look at it, I just seen that my team is more high powered. I feel like with players that I feel comfortable with coming through versus the players that Twin have on his team. I don't see them coming through like that. So when hold on, we're going to have to run that back. Somebody knocking on my door. Run that back. All right, now I'm gonna run it back right now. Okay, so for me, when I look at it, when I look at the situation, and I don't see that Mac Twin has enough high five powered offensive players that I feel comfortable in that will come through like MMT like Lil Mike do because when you like Saquon, Kamara, like he has one of the top backfields in the whole league. So I think that he did, like you say, some good drafting. And I think maybe even great drafting. And I think that right now, Twin is at a crossroads. Just like Bread Hunter is. You do not want to start out 0-3. And just like Big G is, you do not want to start out 0-3. That's not a place that you want to be. So, but in this one, I don't think that Twin, like I said, has enough firepower that I feel comfortable with coming through. So that's why I'm taking Lil Mikey MMT.
To this next matchup, we got a 2-0 team going against Natural Born College, who are 1-1. Early projection, Lewis 176, Natural Born College 165. Um, Lewis is led to scoring by Jonathan Taylor with a 26. We got C Mac for NBK with a 25. Uh, I'm not gonna waste much time with this. Natural Born College is they gotta win. They're 1-1, so they right there. You know what I mean? But it looked like it's not all you know working smoothly together. You know what I mean? It looks like it's something is out. Out of whack. You know what I mean? I don't know what that is. That's up to them and that organization. But uh, it's hard for me to go against Lewis right now. I mean, they
Yeah, yeah.
they got to put together, man. Listen,
Yeah.
it's gonna be listen, that first one, two, three, four, five, six, that first seven, man, yeah. Only they can stop themselves right now in this early infantry of the league. So man, I was supposed to bounce it back to you. Did I already go? I ain't gave who I was gonna take. I It sounds like I'm taking Lewis. Go ahead. My bad.
Look. Now, let me say this. Let me say this, man. And like I say, you ain't even got to, what I'm saying, be long winded about it. I think that MBK players, when you talk about showing you something, I feel like they have to show me something before I could take them in against a team like Lewis. Because we talking about one of the cream of the crops. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I got Lewis all day on this one. I think that his players have proven so far what they can do. and until he show me differently, then I'm going with Lewis until he play me.
One side note, I'm looking at natural born college. They're led by Kyler Murray, who's he was kind of like this, and this last week was kind of like that. But then you got McCaffrey. He's up, and then you come down with him.
Yeah.
Then you go Jefferson. He's up, and then you come down with London. Then you go Higgins. He's up, and then the tight end is down. So it's kind of it kind of
And
like
also remember with the projections, he got McCarthy throwing him the ball, Jefferson. So that's why he ain't been able to have no big game yet this season. And you don't know when he gonna be able to have a big game because he ain't got nobody to throw him the ball like that.
okay. So all the suspense and everything go with it. Let me who I'm taking because I ain't said it. I'm not gonna do I just wanted to do that because I want to see how it sound. I edit that. Yeah, I'm taking Lewis, man. It's a clean sweep. Me and you both taking Lewis. NBK got to show up and show something. Let's go ahead and get into this uh, next matchup, and this is our number one team on TB5 going against Detroit or nothing. Big G is in a fucked up situation. Pardon my language, kids, but I don't even put it on for kids. So if they watching this, hey, listen, yeah, let me leave that alone. But Big G, Detroit or nothing. 0-3. Oh man, that's hard. I'm checking you out on paper, on projection. It look formidable. I mean, it looks so much. It looks so good right now that they got Big G favorite to win. It's 176 to 171. Big G is a 51 to 49% favorite. I mean, if you go down the lineup, you'll see that uh he remains has two dudes that could be considered projection wise the top scorers. This Gibbs with 21.8, but 20.78 is nothing to sneeze at. But then you look over here, you see 22, 22, and a 20 on projection. You're like, damn, G, 22 from home, 22 for Chase Brown. Chase Brown be getting money, Holmes been getting money, even though they ain't been winning. Tony Pollard, I don't know if he'll really walk at 20, but that's what it say this week. And
Yeah.
you're like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Devontae went out. Doomsday had a 30 something. Yeah, might be a whole Hawkinson, Mason number one. I mean, it looked like it could happen. You got Fannin, some nobody heard of. Let's pull this file right quick. We heard what he said. We're gonna pull it right quick. He had 13.6 fantasy points week one. He had 7 catches on 9 targets for 63 yards. Uh, the next week, this past week, he had 9.8. You'll take a 9.8. 5 for 5. He caught everything they throw to him. 48 yards. Okay. Sneaky link. You know
And
what
then
I'm
you look
saying?
at Hawkinson. Hawkinson ain't did nothing,
Hawkinson hasn't done anything. A
but they
DT
still
Tata.
got projected to do more than Fanning. I
Let's
can't.
see. We pull this file 4.2, 2.2. Hawkinson is not back from a knee injury. You got to be careful. I got burned by this a couple of fantasy seasons ago. I picked a player who had came off a knee injury, and I thought he was going to be ready to go back the next season because I was like, oh shit, he just played some this season. He's going to be ready to go next season. And that was Michael Gallup, and he wasn't ready to go the next season. And matter of fact, he ain't never been ready to go since. No shade on my guy. We love you, especially as Dallas Cowboy fan. But I'm saying all that to say this: uh, Detroit or nothing. BG. I think, like I was saying to this other guy, you got to show me something. I think y'all going on with three. I already got he who remains HWR. You understand me? To go 3-0 will be an impressive start to the season. Let me say that. Maybe it'd be an upset though. I wonder what Draper would pick. I wonder if he would pick Detroit or nothing to get the upset, but I ain't figured out that with no 0-2 team. None of these 0-2 teams, I'm letting y'all know till y'all show me something. I would not be picking y'all. You might not care. No one cares, but I'm letting you know that's what I'm gonna be doing. You know what I'm saying? On record. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you have your flow, your glow, your shine. I already know you picking yourself. That would be absurd for someone to pick someone else other than themselves. I would be appalled. I might shut the camera down and walk off if I ever heard that on this show. Be that you always got to believe in yourself. Be that as it may. Go ahead, man. You know what I'm saying? Man, tell me why you gonna make them people 1-3.
Well, I just feel like that. I'm king of talking about don't believe in projections. I just don't see how anybody can believe in the projections that they got swanging for Big G this week, like in people like Tony Pollard, and people like Swift. It like, and I'm not saying they can put up no numbers, but I'm just saying they got them going over 20. They got them like they got them going over 21 and shit like that. Not just 20.
Swift get astray.
Uh, 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 then I mean then
Shot at Swift.
more on the projections. They got Hawkinson.
Running back Swift. I'm just saying straight up running
They
back
got
Swift.
Hawkinson to do a better have a better week than Fanning when he ain't did jack shit this season and they ain't even got no quarterback that can throw on the ball like that. So and so that's the part of
Fanning going against Green Bay, right?
that's Detroit or nothing side. On my side, look, people got some work to do this week. Even with I'm gonna start Wilson this week, even though Tyrod Taylor is gonna be in there because Tyrod Taylor, who he gonna look for? He gonna look for Garrett Wilson. So I expect for Garrett to still get the targets and hopefully he have a big game. But I think that people are gonna wake up from the games they had last week and they're gonna have we're gonna have over 180. So let me just say that. Let me say that.
180.
Yeah, we gonna average in this league when the season over at least 180.
Off the brakes. Come on, man. Give it a break. Listen, you kind of limping a little bit. I mean, you was a wide receiver. I mean, you get some midi. I'm looking at Sutton, Pearsall, and Myers. I know you running back out there with I like McConkey and Gary Wilson. You want to, we can talk side. You want to do something for McConkey? I know you kind of.
I'm starting Myers this week over McConkey.
Oh, okay. Breaking news. Breaking news.
Yeah.
Okay, they won't change projection too much, but that's breaking news. Okay, but with that being said, uh, like I said, I got he remains over Big G's got to show me something, man. Let's go ahead and move into this next matchup. It's the last matchup because this is a matchup of supreme importance. I mean, we expect no shade on the Don, but we expect HWR to go to VNO. This is a matchup with 3-0 is also on the line, but also is on the line in this matchup is 1-2. And the better team absolutely does not. I was down there by the locker room, saw the owner come through, and I could see the look on his face. I tried to get a word with him, and he wasn't having it. And normally he'll stop and give me a good conversation, but he wasn't having it. And even the Josh Allen, yeah, Josh Allen. I tried to get the whole team is got they look like they got their mind focused on business. This is a grudge match of sorts, you know. Few seasons ago in the Super Bowl, there was some discrepancy. This team somehow wrestled the title. So, you know what I mean? It's always kind of like a little bit of, you know, happy to see you, can't wait to beat you when it comes to these two teams right here. You know what I mean? And this year is no different. You know what I mean? We can get back on that on ground. I was gonna say on the bike, we ain't on the motherfucking bike, man. Yeah, I'm saying, I mean, we trying to get in that 747, that PJ and be sewing a G5 or something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what we try to be. You can go up and down our lineup. You know, course, we led by Josh Allen with 27. That's projection money. He got two 23s with Jacobs and Irvin. Both of them are very strong. There ain't nothing to sneeze at. Dak Prescott may be a little weak link with that Chicago. We got to keep your eye on that. I do not trust the Dallas Cowboys against the Chicago Bears on Sunday. But that's another thing, neither here nor there. They got to show me too. Uh, St. Brown against Baltimore. I think we can get something going with Baltimore. Baltimore have a very strong defense. We can get hopefully we're looking to get an under projection right there, a 12 to 14 for St. Brown. Like Jacobs and Irvin, they both going over 20. Prescott, I'm looking for an 11. He already has a stinker this year. I'm looking for about 11. You know what I'm saying? Some underperformance right there. McLaurin against Vegas. Vegas is iffy with the pass coverage, but McLaurin hasn't done very much. He hasn't done very much this year. There's really no reason to think that, you know what I mean, he will. He may, but hey, I don't know. Pitts, I like Pitts. Swift, you spoke on this. This is why I say Swift. I don't know how you catch a straight, but you know what I mean? At 21.51, I'm listening to you. Is that a, we might need to put that under investigation. Is that a legit 21? So you're here to tell me that he got 67, 68 points from his three running back positions, flex the two RB1 and RB2.
Well, that's what they look. That what they got them set up as. That's what they got them set up. Now, look, look. We know you taking you, but for me in this matchup, it was tough, man. It was tough. I went back and forth, went back and forth, I went back and forth, and I always say that I go by who I feel more comfortable with coming through for their team. And in this matchup, I think that Jacobs is going to play. I think that matter of fact, since you brought up his three-headed running back, I think all three of them are going to come to play because Chicago now kind of have a balanced offense a little bit with the way that Caleb throwing the ball this season. So I think that takes pressure and allows Swift to be able to open up and be able to play how he needs to play. And so I think that all three of them, I'm feeling comfortable this week that they gonna
60,
come through. You know what I'm saying? And Dak,
60, 70. You think you
I,
can get 70 out of all three of them? 60, 70 points.
look,
That's what
look,
he
look.
counting on.
Y'all both tight and y'all right there with each other. But I think just for you to win this week, it's gonna take a Herculean effort from Josh Allen, uh, uh, like he had the first week. Now, if you get that from Josh Allen, I think you win it. But if you don't get that type of game from Josh Allen, I'm going with who I'm going with, and that's no nuts, no glory.
Okay. Well, of course I'm gonna take me to win. I'm gonna just tell you why though. We feel real good about the trade of ETN. Uh, but we don't feel like it really makes that much of a significant impact because those are the numbers we expected for Hampton. So if we get that, then we running right on expectation, not exceeding expectation. We do strongly believe Neighbors gonna keep doing what he's doing. We're looking for a breakout game from DK Metcalf going against the worst secondary in the
Yeah,
league.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
hopefully he can get in the end zone and get us, one of those DK Metcalf type of games that we know he's capable of having. We don't have any issues with Warren. The issue we might have is the discussion of the flex. There is a discussion going on between Hampton, um, Coleman, and Ted McMillan. Um, Ted McMillan however, is going against the best secondary in the league. They've given up the least amount of pass yards, and even though we should have started him last week, we could have used those points. We don't know if we're gonna start him this week. I want to kind of go with Coleman. with Josh Allen, but I don't want to keep trying to hook that train up if it ain't gonna carry the freight. So,
Yeah.
well, for discussion, we may not have, well, we don't have a definite right now. Right now, you see the projection. You got Hampton in there, and it gives us 171 today, 176. It's more like 189. You
Look,
know,
see for me,
I
what
mean 169. It's more 169 than 171.
See, for me though, what I'm saying is that I look at stuff like Amari and Hampton versus Swift, who I feel more comfortable with. And that's what I'm saying. Like Hampton, I can't feel more comfortable with Hampton over any of his running backs. Hampton ain't showed it yet. So I'm saying it's people like that, which is what swayed me to go with no nuts this week. But like I said, if you get a Herculean effort from Josh, I wouldn't be surprised if you pulled it out.
I mean, we do have a discussion at Hampton at this point. It seems he's dropped from RB2 to maybe flex, or maybe even not starting this week. And when you look at where he was drafted at, along with Tracy, and that kind of value, for both of them, maybe is one of them now on the team for both of them, possibly not even to be in the starting lineups.
That'll be
Oh man.
man. That'll be
Mm.
bonkers if you did that, man. But look, you have to adjust. You can't just say because I drafted somebody high that they supposed to be in there.
I mean, shout out to the fantasy football guys, because I mean, it was like we spoke on it earlier. Travis Etienne. I feel good about him right there, moving right into the RB2 spot. I mean, based off production, he's RB1. Actually, but
Yeah,
they
yeah.
don't let you move it. But based off production, he's RB1 for this team. To instantly be able to get that, all praise to the fantasy football guys. Yeah, man, we just gonna I look for us to come out here and not exceed our expectations, but play way better than we played last week, and put up a point performance comparable to what we did um week one.
Okay. Well, now,
Anticipated being a come from behind type victory. We're looking for uh getting it done on the field, and just pretty much gonna be comfortable leading when it's all said and done. It looks like, let me see. All my games are Sunday. See if he got any Monday game. He got St. Brown on Monday. So we gonna know he got in the line say coach. So we gonna know Sunday. We gonna
yeah, yeah,
we gonna know Sunday if the better team is in a position to get the victory,
yeah,
or even competing for the victory. By Sunday, if no North no glory is in a situation with St. Brown add any sprinkles, the fight will already be called. So it's good for him. He when you got that one bullet in the chamber and the other team is already gone, they already shot everything gone, they ain't got nothing else to shoot. Man, that's just that could be a crazy thing. 'Cause look, let's just say he down 25 or he down 30. St. Brown just went for a 40. What if he go for 37 or 35, 34?
Look, now, look. Now, don't get me wrong. He can easily get underperformances from St. Brown. He wasn't St. Brown. I don't think was great the first week.
No, but last week he was
Yeah, he
on. Maybe
was.
they were just that first week, not really playing that first week. You know how that should be when the league first jump off. You know what I'm saying? Uh well, that's our games, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna hold too much on this shit. The week three matchups. Uh This was cool. Hey man, nice, wonderful show. Congratulations, you was amazing as you always are. That's my time for the talk. Go ahead, bro. What about
Say,
you?
man, it was a great show. It was a great time. Always great doing a show with you, man. This is something we always talked about and basically, you know what I'm saying, dreamed about because we always been a partner and a duo. You know what I'm saying. So it was great to get this in motion in our second season doing it together. And I want to shout out to everybody in Inside the Huddle Football Fantasy League, and everybody. Good luck this week.
Around the applause, man. Let me give you great show. Great show. And yeah, we out, man. Love one.